Everyone feared Terry Butcher's rage, both on and off the pitch. The towering 6 feet 4 inches defender built a reputation as one of English football's most intimidating figures, whose ferocious commitment was immortalized in that iconic blood-soaked England shirt. But behind the warrior-like exterior lay a complex figure whose career was marked by controversy, criminal conviction, and, ultimately, profound personal tragedy. Terry Butcher emerged as a commanding presence at Ipswich Town in the late 1970s, making his first division debut against Everton in April 1978. Under the guidance of Bobby Robson, he developed into a formidable central defender, known for his aerial prowess, leadership qualities, and unflinching courage. His performances at Portman Road caught the attention of England manager Ron Greenwood, who awarded him his international debut in 1980. The pinnacle of Butcher's Ipswich career came in 1981, when he played a crucial role in the club's UEFA Cup triumph. After amassing 271 league appearances and scoring 16 goals for Ipswich, he became part of Graeme Souness's English invasion at Rangers in 1986, following Ipswich's relegation to the second division. At Rangers, Butcher was immediately installed as captain and helped transform the club's fortunes. Under his leadership, Rangers secured 3 Scottish Premier Division titles in 4 seasons: 1986-87, 1988-89, 1989-90, and 2 Scottish League Cup victories. His influence was so valued that Rangers rejected a reported £1 million bid from Manchester United for his services in 1988. However, it was during an Old Firm derby on October 17, 1987, that Butcher's aggressive nature crossed a critical line. The match, which ended in a 2-2 draw, descended into chaos and would forever tarnish his reputation. Just 17 minutes into the game, Celtic striker Frank McAvenny became involved in an altercation with Rangers goalkeeper Chris Woods. As captain, Butcher rushed to intervene, forcefully pushing McAvenny in the chest with both hands, causing the Celtic player to stumble backward. While Butcher received only a yellow card for this initial involvement, his disciplinary problems weren't over. In the second half, with Rangers trailing 2-0, one goal being a Butcher own goal, he was sent off for a separate foul on Celtic's substitute goalkeeper, Alan McKnight. The atmosphere surrounding the match was toxic, reflected in the 62 arrests made in and around the stadium. One observer labelled the players' behaviour as downright hooliganism that risked inciting serious crowd trouble. What set this incident apart from typical football discipline was its legal aftermath. In an unprecedented move, Glasgow's Procurator Fiscal ordered a police investigation into the match incidents. Subsequently, Butcher, Woods, teammate Graham Roberts and McAvenny were all charged with breach of the peace. The players stood trial at Glasgow Sheriff Court in April 1988. The verdicts delivered were stark. Butcher was convicted and fined £250, while Woods received a heavier £500 fine. Roberts's charge was found not proven, a uniquely Scottish verdict meaning insufficient evidence, while McAvenny was found not guilty. Butcher appealed his conviction, with his counsel arguing that applying criminal law to on-field incidents in contact sports set a dangerous precedent. However, the appeal appears to have been unsuccessful, leaving him with a permanent criminal record. This conviction deeply affected Butcher, who later reflected, "I have a criminal record now which will be with me forever. It hurts me, it pains me, because I am the most law-abiding person in the world." He maintained that the prosecution was politically motivated, believing that he and Woods were made examples of due to the prevailing climate surrounding football hooliganism. He minimised his physical involvement, stating, "All I did was push McAvenny." The Old Firm incident wasn't an isolated outburst. In October 1988, following a match against Aberdeen at Pittodrie, Butcher kicked the referee's room door off its hinges in frustration, This prompted another police investigation, although no criminal charges followed. The Scottish Football Association fined him £1,500 for his actions. This pattern suggests a volatile temperament that could manifest destructively when under pressure. Butcher himself later acknowledged this aspect of his character, admitting that anger would surface if he felt his team, or he personally, had been wronged and denied justice. Butcher's transition to management began dramatically in November 1990 when, at just shy of 32 years old, he became the youngest manager in the Football League at Coventry City. His managerial path was notably peripatetic, characterised by frequent moves and relatively short tenures, with an average term of just 1.46 years per role. His passionate and sometimes aggressive nature as a player appeared to carry over into his management style, while this intensity occasionally yielded positive results, notably at Motherwell, where he navigated the club through severe financial difficulties and led them to the 2005 Scottish League Cup final, and at Inverness Caledonian Thistle, where he won promotion via the Scottish First Division title in 2009-10. Many of his other managerial spells were described as fruitless experiences. This pattern suggests that while his passionate style could effectively galvanise clubs facing adversity, it may not have been universally suited to the long-term demands of management across different environments. In 2017, Butcher's life took a devastating turn with the death of his son, Christopher, a veteran who had served as a captain in the British Army's Royal Artillery, with tours in Afghanistan and Iraq. Upon returning from these deployments, Christopher was diagnosed with severe and complex post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. His condition manifested in flashbacks, nightmares, auditory hallucinations, severe anxiety, and social withdrawal. These struggles were compounded by issues with alcohol and drugs, sometimes used as self-medication to cope with his mental torment. Christopher died on October 16, 2017, at the age of 35. He was found by Terry at the family home in Suffolk. An inquest determined the cause of death to be an abnormal enlargement of the heart, combined with the toxic effects of a mixture of prescription and illicit drugs, all occurring against the backdrop of his diagnosed PTSD. The assistant coroner delivered poignant remarks, framing Christopher's struggle within the context of his service. "I suspect Chris was hounded day and night by an enemy he couldn't see in his war without end." He described individuals like Christopher as ultimately casualties of war, deserving of both our sympathy and our utmost gratitude and respect. Following this profound loss, Terry Butcher channeled his grief into a powerful public mission. He became a vocal advocate for improved support for military veterans and their families, arguing that the National Health Service, NHS, is often overloaded and lacks the specific expertise and resources needed to effectively treat complex military-related trauma. Christopher passed away 7 months ago, but in reality, the Christopher that we all knew and loved had ceased to exist years before, Butcher stated after the inquest. In truth, after intense tours of Iraq and Afghanistan, he became a victim of war. He has supported charities like Combat to Coffee, which uses coffee meetups to encourage veterans to talk and connect, and participated in public awareness campaigns for mental health support services. His calls for action include establishing specialist centres dedicated to PTSD treatment for veterans and their families. "I am doing this for my son, what he suffered and what we all went through as a family," he stated, transforming personal tragedy into public advocacy and using the recognition earned through football to campaign for systemic change in veteran care. Terry Butcher's journey through football and life presents a compelling narrative filled with stark contrasts and profound shifts. He was undeniably a decorated player, a UEFA Cup winner with Ipswich, a multiple league and cup winner as captain of Rangers, and an inspiring England captain with 77 caps between 1980 and 1990. Yet, this success ran parallel with significant controversy. The infamous 1987 Old Firm incident resulting in a criminal conviction, other displays of volatile temper, and a managerial career marked by similar passion but less consistent success. His public image embodies this duality. He is the lion-hearted, hard man of English football, epitomised by the blood-soaked shirt after the World Cup qualifier against Sweden in 1989, yet also the vulnerable, grieving father speaking movingly about his son's struggles and advocating for mental health support. Terry Butcher's legacy resists easy definition. It is woven from threads of sporting glory, moments of public shame, profound personal suffering, and ultimately, impactful advocacy born from tragedy. His journey demonstrates a capacity for evolution under the most trying circumstances, leaving behind a legacy defined by resilience, complexity, and transformation. A man whose rage was feared, but whose courage in the face of personal tragedy would ultimately define him.